Yo, hello guys. I was asked in a post yesterday, why is it, basically saying, address this issue. Why is it that you, as in me, focus so much on, closure and basically what's going on in here, why is it that you focus biasly towards that factor? And it's a good question, especially when we notice that a lot of coaches out there focus on other things, like I think of terms like support or, focusing a lot on the different vowels. Not to say that all these things aren't valuable. I've spoken recently, just yesterday, about vowels and my ideas, this, that and the other. And often if you go back actually to videos I've done on compression and closure, you will see me referring to more pressure, from the diaphragm as we increase cord closure, finding a balance between those factors, etc., etc. So I do address other things. The way I see singing is this: it's an instrument, yeah. So isolated from every other part of your body, there's really only three things going on. You have the diaphragm pushing air through, yeah, or creating air pressure. The vocal cords resisting that pressure, and then the articulators shaping the sound after it comes through the folds there. Now, those terms may not be scientifically completely accurate, but basically that's what it comes down to. We've got air, cord, shape. That's it. Three things. So I ask you, what else is there? In terms of me thinking about, in terms of the physicality of singing, yes, there is a lot of stuff going on in the head that we talk about, but just the basic fundamentals of technique, that's it. You've got three things you can do. You can change how you're shaping the sound, you can change how you're creating the sound, and you can change the amount of air pressure you've got underneath, which facilitates the creation of the sound. That's it. Now, why don't I focus on support a lot, like some coaches do? Always the solution is support, because using your diaphragm doesn't require any development of skill. It requires a habit, pressing through the right amount of air, and that does require some skill, I guess, a little bit. The degree to which the amount of air pressure that you balance out with the closure is a skill, but refining the motions, isolating the muscles in here requires such small adjustments. It requires independence between very small muscle groups. It requires a high degree of skill. Hence why I focus on it more so than the other things. Now, when I talk about the articulators, separating them out from what's going on here, this requires skill to isolate from this. Generally, I talk about the stuff that I found hardest, and when I say hardest, I mean it took me the most practice and the most repetition to really solidify and cement into my voice. So, in answer to the question, the simple answer is the stuff I focus on is the stuff that will make the most difference to a singer in the long term. And I know that just because I've been through that journey, and the journey I've been through has been longer and trickier in some ways than other people's. Because I was a hard case, because I didn't start singing till I was 22, 23, yeah? I had to learn it all consciously and think it all through and all that stuff and understand what was going on. So the reason I focus on what's going on in here is because when we talk about strain, when we talk about push, most of the time there's an inefficiency. There's a lot of extra muscles getting involved that don't need to, yeah? Confusing the singer. So when I talk about muscle isolation, when I talk about compression, getting the right amount, closure skills, this kind of thing, I'm referring to all this. Now, outside of that, like I say, we've got to balance whatever we're doing here with the chords with the right amount of pressure underneath, yeah, or support. We've got to shape that sound once it comes from here. We've got to shape it the right way. We've got to choose, do we want closed vowels? Do we want open vowels? Or, more importantly, for any particular word or sentence, what vowels is it asking for? I was having a brief chat yesterday about this with another coach, and we were just saying, look, use the vowel that's required. The problem is with singers is they sing. They don't just say the vowels. They go into another frame of mind where everything has to be a funny way. Yeah? Just say the vowel that's required. Most of the vowels that I'm using when I'm having a conversation are relatively closed, but sometimes I do need to open up when I'm singing. We see this with a lot of singers. We see some closed, some open. We see generally an understanding of both. It's beside the point really. In this video I wanted to get across that the reason I focus on what's going on here a lot is because it requires a lot of skill to do well. Yeah? And all I can say to you, if you're questioning what I'm saying and what other coaches are saying, is look at their results. Yeah? I put up numerous videos over the last 6 months of me singing songs, lots of different, lots of different cover songs, some of my own. Look at the results I've got, because that's my understanding leads to those results. Look at the results other coaches have got. I know Ken Tamplin puts some singing videos out there. I know Tristan puts some singing videos out there. Their understanding leads to those results. So you just pick the results you want and follow the information they're giving you, and you will get led towards those results ultimately.